What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. I mean, really, it's whatever day you listen to this on, because I know we all don't watch or listen to this podcast.
We don't even record this on a Tuesday. We liars.
I know we all don't listen to this when it drops on a Tuesday, but shout out to whatever day you're listening to us on. We thank you. What? What up?
That just sounded weird.
What?
Whatever day you're listening to us on.
Yeah, whatever day you're listening. Because you can, some people, all right, for me, I don't listen to a podcast as soon as it drops unless they're like on my top list.
I know, it's just, I don't know.
I'm sure we're not on people's top, like their top list as soon as it drops, yo.
We should be.
Play.
Hello.
I don't think that's the case. I don't knock you guys for it because I know there's other popping podcasts out there, but,
we
should be like in the middle. So like after you get through you're like, top podcast, we're like, okay, now we'll hit Paging the Simpsons. We're trying to work our way up, but hey. Man, what is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I am joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren.
And as always,
Guess what, guys? Guess what? This podcast is going live on my birthday.
Oh my god. So she wants you to send birthday wishes to her, I guess.
Wow, rude.
Like,
rude.
What? Oh no, you're bringing that up. Like, congrats.
Rude.
Let me clap it up for you right there.
Exactly.
Congrats. Happy
Best birthday ever, right?
Happy future birthday.
Yeah, technically, but no, like when they're listening and when it drops, it's my actual birthday.
Yeah, so if you're listening on the Tuesday that this episode comes out, yeah, it's her actual birthday.
August 27th. That's me. Virgos unite.
Now we go. We don't need that many Virgos in this world.
Listen, you're a Libra. Virgos and Libras, we go head to head, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because we go head to head. That's why we have this podcast.
We both stubborn, and we both,
That's why we have this podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that is. It's really to have these conversations that we have, like, on the couch just chilling and bring them to the mic and be like, yo, nah, I don't like how you talking. That's really what it is. So I want to hop into this, and I want to get into this whole Brazil, Amazon rainforest, like, fire that's happening. You know a lot more of it than I do. I just have my own 2 cents I want to add to this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let you take the wheel on this, if that's cool. And, share whatever you want to share. What?
I don't know. He says I know a lot more. I'm like,
more than I would know, because my take is going to be different than yours. I can 100% tell you that. I
mean, I have a Business Insider article. Do you have that?
Nah.
Okay, great. Because sometimes you have that stuff.
I mean, you should link it to the notes that we share.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry.
That's what we do
I found it yesterday, and I figured, this would be good to add.
We're doing pre-production. We prepare, but clearly you were not prepared.
Well, I'm prepared. I have it right here.
Okay. Continue.
So, it says, fires in the Amazon could be part of a doomsday scenario that sees the rainforest spewing carbon into the atmosphere and speeding up climate change even more. So, if you guys heard our podcast like a week or two ago, we were talking about climate change.
Yeah.
So this is like one of those things you can't deny. The Amazon rainforest is really on fire right now. It really provides 20% of the world's oxygen. So its destruction can cause it to not only stop helping the planet, but start releasing carbon and worsening climate change. So trees are important, y'all. And like, I was even thinking that when I was on the highway a couple days ago, and they're just chopping down 1 million more trees. And I'm like, at what rate do we just get rid of trees? You know what I'm talking about? Between forest fires and then chopping them down, like, we need trees.
Yeah, but
I think like people don't understand how important they are.
The highway is different though, because last year when we had like that crazy like storm or hurricane, whatever that was. Trees were getting knocked down on the highway, like stopping people from getting to where they need to get to. So cutting down trees is needed, depending on where it's at, I'll say.
Yeah.
The highway, I can understand, but like, if you're cutting down a tree, like in the middle of the woods, you'd like cutting down a whole bunch of trees there. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's the woods. What are we doing?
So, more facts. It says, in a dieback scenario, rising temperatures could dry trees, meaning they absorb less carbon, become more flammable, eventually turning the rainforest into a savanna and releasing billions of tons of stored carbon. So that's great. There's been a record number of fires in the Amazon this year, more than 70,000. And experts say they're due to human activity.
Yeah, this is even more of a reason why we should get a Tesla.
All right, I'm not going there right now. We are talking about the rainforest. Guys, you don't understand how annoying he is with that.
I'm trying to save the environment and have there be less fires.
So let's figure out what we can do for the rainforest then.
By getting a car that's not emitting poisonous fumes into the air.
Anyways.
Oh, you don't agree?
I'm saying there's more we should, I don't know. There's more.
Get a Tesla. We could both get one.
What's interesting about this though is you know, there was so much media coverage over Notre Dame, and that's not even in our country. And you know, so many people were donating the billions or whatever it took to reconstruct it and fix it. So a landmark like that, I understand, but at the same time, the rainforest is actually helping keep us alive. It's helping us breathe, and we're just not covering it as much, and we're not like, where are all the people offering money to help there and to replant trees or something, anything? I'm hearing crickets. It's very interesting.
Let me know when you're ready for me to jump in, because I have a different viewpoint.
You can jump in.
Yeah, I don't really. This is gonna sound so insensitive.
Probably.
And it's not like there's bigger issues. Like, I get the rainforest is important.
Bigger than breathing?
I get the rainforest is important. That's important. I'm not saying it's not. I get the Notre Dame is important. I get that. But again, I'm gonna put the focus right back on Flint. We want to sit here and talk about like these places and these areas that are affected. What about these people that are living in conditions where, like, yo, I don't have running water. Like, I have to go somewhere and get a certain amount of water for me and my kids to make food, to shower with, to drink, to like all these things, because they don't have the money to move out of this area. Like, well, let's talk about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is also an issue. I still to this day don't understand why we haven't fixed it by now.
Because I could be totally mistaken, but I'd like to say that Flint has more black than white people, and that's probably why that's not a focus.
That's so dumb. That's still dumb. Like,
same reason why they paint Chicago as being like, yo, this wild place, but you go there and it's like, it's not as bad as people say it is.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole Flint, Michigan thing and how did it even become so bad is my question.
It was lead piping, if I'm not mistaken.
So my question, again, I say, how did we let it get so bad? Because it's like, why didn't we replace these or something before it could get there? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone knew until it
really?
happened. Until everyone started getting lead poisoning, and they're like, oh, it's the pipes.
That's an issue that should have been taken care of years ago.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
I understand what you're saying.
It costs a lot of money, and
okay, well, where are all those billionaires?
Again, I'm not helping that black family out.
Oh, okay, but that black family can fund your pockets by going, wherever, to Walmart.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about them.
I'm just saying.
That's what it is. That's what's being said. Like
the irony there is that, like, oh, let me not help them, but they can spend money at my corporation or something.
I get what you're saying. Like, when Notre Dame was burning, like, oh man, yeah, that's such a freaking like iconic place and all that stuff. Everyone's like, oh man, I wanted to go, or I was gonna go, or all this stuff.
Yeah, but the rainforest is more important.
I'm getting there. And then the rainforest is burning. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, oh man, we clearly see a problem with climate change. And we talked about this on our episode, as you mentioned, a few weeks ago. About like, okay, what can we do better? And like, more specifically, why isn't the U.S. stepping it up when we can, where other countries are like, yo, by 2030, for example, we're getting rid of electric cars, or we're trying to stop producing them by this point.
No, you said electric cars.
My bad. Gas cars. we're getting rid of gas cars by like 2030 and stop producing those. like, and just cutting different things that can better help the environment. I get all that, but I'm still, like, I don't know. I'm all about people first. Like, I just feel like that's one major thing that has to be handled is Flint. And then we'll handle everything from there. Like, a building being burned and we have to fix it and all stuff, yeah, that can come later. That's not, whatever.
Well, yeah, I'm like, basic living, you know.
A rainforest, that can come, like, second priority with, like, building that up or however you go about, like, like recreating
basically it does go back to rising global temperatures, because it says the rising global temperatures also threaten the future of remaining trees and aiding the planet. A 2000 study found that the rising temperatures could stop trees in the Amazon from absorbing oxygen as early as 2050, and they could start to emit carbon instead.
So it
does. It all comes back to the whole global warming and what can the world as a whole do. And it's hard because the more I've listened to it, you know, America is not the biggest contributor to global warming. So as much as we're trying to help, we're not going to be enough if just this country helps. You know what I'm saying?
I can literally go Google and find the list of countries that are changing, like, a lot of their cars, they're probably doing other things, but a lot of their car stuff is, they have a deadline for 2030 where we don't have anything. Like, you got, like, I know we're not the biggest, but
that's only
again,
11 years.
I mentioned China. Like, they're crazy there.
That's interesting, though, because they also say is like 10 to 12 years is when it would be irreversible. I would think they should make it sooner then.
Great. Well, the U.S. is not doing anything. Like, that's why Tesla's factory is getting built in, like, a record-breaking, like, amount of time. Like, they started in January of this year, and it's already built, and they're already moving machines in, and they're going to start producing cars in under a year. You had a huge factory built, had everything moved in, and you're going to be making cars by the end of the year. That is crazy to do in a year.
Here's the bigger issue, though, with the whole car front is... So you're basically saying by 2030 they can't sell gas cars anymore?
Depends on the places.
Because if that's it, think of how much longer it's going to take to actually get the actual gas cars off the road.
Depends on the places. I'm just saying that because different countries have different rules.
So it's hard because I feel like then at that point it's the too late mark.
But again, you guys referred to our climate change episode because we go into more details for this. But like China, for example, they want you to drive electric cars majority of the time. They allow gas cars, I think, during certain hours, and I think 1 or 2 days during the week where you're able to do it, but they're pushing electric. Like, you can't be on the road unless you have an electric car.
China has to.
But examples like that.
They're
or like,
so far gone.
Or like in the UK, you can there's a certain part like on the highway or somewhere in the UK where you could like drive on if you have an electric car. So it's like different places have like different things and different perks if you have an electric car. Where what do we have? Like states give you like a certain like what do you call it? Like,
incentive.
Yeah, incentive for you to like buy it towards an electric car, but it's like other states are killing it.
You know what I'll say is the whole trend right now of these Visco girls like on TikTok and all that. It's funny because a lot of it is just like their 90s trends, like scrunchies and shell necklaces and all that. But then they talk about like the straws and the hydro flasks and all this stuff and like save the turtles and all that. It's very interesting because I wonder if the upcoming generation, even though they're kind of making it a trend and they're making it silly, if we see this, that every generation is getting more serious about it.
Yeah.
Like for them, you know, it's the whole save the turtles and reusable straws and I'll never use straws again and that whole thing. And even though that's a small factor of it, it's still something. And it's like, we're going in the right direction if each generation gets more serious about it.
Well, yeah, like just like the whole thing where like, as these kids that are currently kids start becoming like teenagers, adults and stuff, like race isn't going to be as big as an issue as it is now. Like you being your like how you identify as gay, straight, lesbian, all this stuff, like that's not going to be an issue. Like so many things aren't going to be an issue. It's like, yo, we're all people, we're all trying to live on this world, we're all trying to do good things. That's what it's coming down to, and I love that. Like that's what I would like today's world to be in, but we're we're making the shift. At least the younger kids are making the shift to make that happen, and then that is dope. But I don't know. My view on it, as always, with this, like,
I just hope we don't die from the rainforest burning down.
we're not.
You know.
Okay, here's my random theory.
They had
with
said,
this.
I think, and I got rid of the article, but I think somewhere on there it said that it's so bad that a neighborhood 2,000 miles away was like darkened, like you couldn't see the sun anymore because of smoke.
Okay, that's what happens.
2,000 miles away. Do you know how far that is?
Happens, B.
But that's insane.
Okay. I want to also add to this. I'm stupid when it comes to this topic, so I'm gonna admit that, so I don't get killed anywhere on social media. Is oxygen from trees a myth? I say that because look at the big cities like New York, Vegas. Like, look at these places where, like, you don't see trees like that. When you go in the desert, you can still breathe. When you go to, like, I haven't been to Dubai, but the videos and pictures I've seen of Dubai, like, I don't know. I'm starting, like, do we just say trees give us oxygen as a myth?
Well, okay, think about it. I think more so trees absorb what we shouldn't be breathing as much. For example, these trees are holding so much carbon.
I can see that.
So it's more, they absorb it. And you look at places like New York City, the air is different.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so that if there's trees around, it's absorbing maybe toxins or, you know, something that's not as great for us to breathe in.
So things, if you got a Tesla, would be safe then.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
They have filters that, like, make the world better, essentially. I don't know how to explain it, but, like, the filters, when you're driving the car, they purify the air, like, that you're driving in.
Yeah.
So not just the inside, but the outside. Little plug there for Tesla. Shout out.
Sponsor us, Tesla.
What?
Sponsor us, Tesla.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I mean, the rate you talk about them, it should.
Give me a car. I'll talk about it for a lifetime. I don't know. That's my thought on it. I don't have anything else to really add to this topic. I'm not sure if you have anything else. The next thing I want to get into is this Jake Paul and Tana, like, whole cheating stuff. What's your take on this? Because I didn't really know what to think of it. I really didn't put my 2 cents into it. Jake put out a video a few days ago, and he pretty much is like,
you watched it, I didn't.
Me. Yeah. And it's funny because Logan even, like, he has his own podcast, and he's sitting there looking at the video, and he's like, that doesn't look like Jake. Like, the guy was, like, chubbier and, like in his face. Mm-hmm. And, like, it looked like it was just, like, some fake, like, someone, like...
Doesn't this happen with celebrities all the time?
Yeah.
Where, like, they try and make some fake story, and, like, they use someone that looks really similar, and, like, you have to be really confident in your relationship.
That's what happened with the one with Justin Bieber last year or something like that, a year ago, where he was, like, sitting down eating a burrito.
I don't remember that.
It was a popular one. I forgot who did it. I feel like it was BuzzFeed maybe, or someone, like, did this, and they did a whole video about how they, like, pulled it off. But yeah, he pretty much is like, that wasn't me. Like,
right.
You guys are just running with it because, hey, I'm Jake Paul, my brother's Logan Paul. The Paul brothers, like, are always put in negative light. Like, it's another day in our life. Mm-hmm. And I believe it. I am still curious, though, if this whole marriage thing is real or fake. I'm not hating because I can care less at the end of the day.
Can't you look up marriage licenses online?
But again, they didn't get one. They said it in the video.
Then they're not married.
Dog,
like, that's
you
not
can't
how it
say
works.
that someone that doesn't get a marriage license is not married.
That's not how it works.
Legally, you're not married.
That's
yes.
exactly what being married is.
No, honey.
You're in a serious committed relationship there.
So our dog that's laying right here, if she wants to go out and
Look at her. She's like, excuse me?
if she wants to go out and get married, she doesn't have to get a marriage license.
Oh my God, she's a dog.
So it's a man-made thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're stuck on this whole man-made thing. We have this, like, fight all the time about what's real life and what is man-made. Like,
married marriage license. I don't get how you don't understand this.
I see marriage as two different things. Marriage license and being actually married are two different things. I don't have to have a license to say, like, yo, I'm married.
That doesn't make sense.
How could...
Married, adjective, of two people united in marriage.
Okay, look up marriage.
Uh-huh.
Like, let's see if it refers to a license.
Marriage, noun, the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship.
Okay.
Historically and in some jurisdictions, specifically a union between a man and woman. Well, we ain't go. That's outdated. But
so,
yeah.
Maybe not the term is, we don't know the correct term for it, but maybe it's not marriage. Because if it wants to be considered a legal man-made thing, then it could be like, yo, it's my life partner.
Yes, but that's exactly what I'm saying. You can have a serious committed relationship partner, whatever you want to call them, but marriage is a legality.
Yo, you're getting way too feisty on that.
It's annoying how you're trying to fight me on that, because it is. You are married after you have this paperwork.
Great, but
it's literally, it's the two sayings that the Justice of the Peace told us she has to say, and it's a piece of paper. That's how you're legally married.
Dog, I get it, but just keep it simple and to not get into details with people. Just say, yo, we're married. Why does someone need to know if you sign a piece of paper or not? Like, instead of saying life partner
because
and getting...
Because now they're messing all this up.
How?
They're trying to get views. Like, it's all ridiculous. They're not married. They're saying they're married, but then they come out and say, we don't have a marriage license. They're doing this all on purpose. Like, come on.
Whether they are or they're
ridiculous.
not, I can care less.
It's ridiculous.
Get to the bag. Like, man.
Because, like, you could have... What is it called? Oh, what is the ceremony called? Like a unity ceremony or something? You could have that. That's not being married, but it could be a ceremony like what they had. Like, there's a difference.
Great. You're talking about... I'm not focusing on, like, the actual term of it. I get what you're saying,
Well, I am, because I feel like they're using it. They're using it as, like, a tool. And it's ridiculous.
I mean, don't we all use marriage as a tool?
Oh, my God.
Lock a man down, take his money.
You know what I mean.
Lock a man down, take his money. Right?
Why is it only taking the man's money? Why can the woman not make more?
Help.
Exactly. See, I got points. Coming ready today. Come on.
In a lot of cases, the man is the one making...
You know what? Times are changing, honey.
I mean, that's fine. Yo, if you want the money and I stay home with the kids, I'm with it.
I thought you said you didn't want to be stay-at-home dad. You said you'd still want to work.
Yeah, but I'll find something to do.
Yeah, parent.
I'll start a YouTube channel and exploit my kids, which we're going to talk about on Friday's episode. Little sneak
Wow, that was
there.
a nice segue. Very good.
We're going to talk about that Friday, but that's besides the point.
I'm exploiting Missy. Hey, guys, if you have TikTok, you should look up at Missy the Mulchie. I made a TikTok for her, and I'm trying to get her to be a famous pup. So, just saying.
She's famous.
Excuse me, person blasting the music driving by.
I mean, they probably couldn't hear that.
Anyways.
Be real.
Yeah, but I could.
Okay.
Anyways. She already has an Instagram. It's the same username. But I hear TikTok's where it's at. So, she's now there.
But, so back to this.
I'm exploiting my fur child.
I'm interested to see where this relationship goes. Yeah, whether it's real or not, that's something that everyone wants to know.
Someone had said, because Tana, I think when she thought he was cheating, or if she made us believe that, she had liked a tweet that said that he's using her for like the TV show or whatever, but she actually ended up falling for him. I would believe that. I'd believe that she ended up falling for him and he's just like me.
Why do I feel like there's like a age difference between Tana and Jake?
I don't know. We could look this
Like, I just
up.
feel like Jake is younger. Maybe that's just how he acts is why we think that. Like, I feel like Tana's like 28 and Jake is like 24 or something. Like, I don't know. That's what I think.
Jake is 22.
Oh. I feel like
Tana's 21.
Really?
Yep.
Why does Tana just feel older?
I don't know. They both seem like ridiculous to me.
I get it, but like, that makes sense why her interesting decisions. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. I don't know.
Feeling old over here.
I wish all the best on it. That's all I got for that one. But at the end of the day, I know we talked about this a few weeks ago. Yo, I don't know. You're looking forward to like seeing like, yo, if this is real or fake and all that stuff. I'm just seeing what's happening. I don't really have any predictions or any like anything I'm looking to get out of whatever happens in the relationship because I don't care. But it's just interesting watching from the outside. I want to get into this. I know you don't know much about it, but I just want to talk about this and add your 2 cents in, and let's have a conversation on it. But I want to talk about like this controversy around Jay-Z signing a NFL like partnership deal. Do you know anything about this? Have you heard anything?
No.
Have seen a headline anywhere? I mean, it's been a hot thing for the past
not in my world apparently.
week, clearly. So people were pretty much giving Jay some backlash on this. So you know Colin Kaepernick, he did the whole kneel thing because injustice for other races, but majority black people, he was more so, and he lost his job because of it. This was like back in 2016, I believe he did this. And people were pretty much mad at Jay because they're seeing this as like him doing it as like a money grab thing. And this is what I don't understand because Jay-Z's never been, at least from what I've seen, and I'm not necessarily like the biggest Jay-Z fan. I'm kind of like in the middle. He's never been one to be like, yo, I'm going in for this money.
They're one. You can't tell me Beyonce doesn't make more than him.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly. See, woman.
I don't know how she does it because he does a lot more.
Because she's Beyonce.
But no, but like I don't get this part. So Jay-Z signs a deal with NFL, and everyone's mad, saying like, "Yo, you're burying Colin's career now." Because I guess we're not for sure if Colin was like ever trying to get a job back in the NFL, and if he was trying to, did Jay-Z just go and bury his chances of doing that with doing this deal? Essentially, it's him trying to fix like the social injustice in the NFL. Get what I'm putting down?
Okay.
So
he's just like continuing what he did?
Yeah.
What he started?
And there's a clip that's like going around where he's like, we're done with the protesting. Like, we're not sitting here kneeling anymore. Like, now we're doing action. And people were like against it. He's sitting because he's making a deal with the NFL and all this stuff. But I'm sitting back, and I know you don't know this, so I'm gonna give you a quick run by probably over the last few years of what Jay-Z has done as far as like social things have happened in the public eye, because he has done things privately that we don't have much information on. But like, here goes a few things. Helped Meek get out of jail. That the Amazon document that we saw a few weeks ago with Meek Mill, Jay-Z funded that. Jay-Z's sitting there helping Trayvon Martin's family. Like, he did put out, what do you call it? He gave a lawyer to 21 Savage when he was arrested by ICE.
Activist.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what he's trying to fix the corrupt system in the NFL.
I don't get the problem here.
People are seeing it. They're trying to jump on Jay-Z that like he's doing it for other reasons.
Clout.
No, money. He doesn't need clout.
I don't know.
He's
People
doing
are
it
weird.
to get money, and it's like, why do I need to get money? Like, clearly everything he has done has been leading up to like, yo, like I'm gonna help my friend here. I'm gonna help this here. I guess he gave money to help the like Columbine, like when Columbine was a thing. This was when he wasn't like really popping.
Wow.
And like he even helped them out, like the survivors and the families that like were affected and everything. Like, what? So it's like he's had a track record of just always like helping people out, and it's like, wow. The Khalif Broward thing, it's similar to the Central Park 5, now the Exonerated 5, where Khalif Broward was wrongly convicted of a crime, spent a good amount of time in Rikers Island. He finally got out and then committed suicide, I think, like a year or two after. And, like, he did, like, a documentary on that. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Jay-Z has done a lot. And, like, as I'm running through this, I'm trying to understand it. And my friend was, like, asking me, he's like, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are your thoughts on it? And it's like, I don't really have many thoughts, because it's like, you're just signing a deal right now, trying to be an activist and work with the NFL to get things done. And
maybe people are mad because he's signing with the NFL when Colin was rebelling against the NFL. So maybe they see it as like you're being on the NFL side, like, that they are like controlling how much you can do, or.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would think Jay-Z would have talked to Colin about this before moving. Been like, yo, this is what I'm going to do. Let me know if it's cool with you. Like,
probably.
I would like to say they talked.
Probably.
And he's like, yeah, I've been protesting this for a while now. Let me go and, like, let's do something about it. It's too early to tell what's going to change, but it's like, it's so interesting because you still have people that are boycotting the NFL. I'm not a big sports person, so I've been boycotting my whole life.
All right.
But I don't know. I'm curious to know what comes out of this and what changes Jay-Z is able to make being a partner. Because I think that's pretty major. Because I feel like there's a lot of racist stuff that happens, as you can tell, especially seeing the whole thing with Colin. Like, we went to a party before. I'm going to loosely touch on this because, you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Oh, okay. we went out to a party before, and this party, it was just a little birthday party or whatever. And, like, I remember these, like, 2-3 guys that were there, like, we're talking about football, and then touched on Colin Kaepernick and said, like, this guy was stupid or something like that.
I know what you're
all
talking
this stuff.
about.
And I'm like, and, like, they asked, like, oh, why is he doing this? And I still wanted to inject myself into this conversation and just, like, go off. And it's white guys, of course.
Right. This is also the one where, like, you were a little uncomfortable because of, like, what they were wearing or, like, how they were acting or something.
Possibly, yeah. I don't really remember what they were wearing, but yeah. And it's just like, wow. Like, I don't know. So I'm hoping that, like, yeah, getting someone in there that's like, that has the influence and has the money and has everything working out can make some bit of change in the NFL. Yeah. I just want things to be equal. That's all I want in life. It's not gonna happen.
We're probably never gonna see it in our lifetime.
I want things to be equal for our future kids.
Mostly.
Like, I just want to touch on that briefly. Let me know your thoughts on it. Not you, but anyone listening that has more details of what they think is gonna happen with this whole, like, deal situation. Now, this next thing I want to touch on is something that's a recent topic in our area.
Trigger warning. We will be talking about domestic violence. So if this is something you don't want to hear, you might want to click off.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about this for, like, the remainder of the episode. I have some, like, relationship advice that focuses on domestic violence. It's not going to get too aggressive, like, as far as, like, the content, but just putting it out there. So I wanted to talk about it here. So we got into this conversation where, of course, because of the recent news that happened in our area where someone was hurt because of domestic violence, we got into, like, the whole, like, I guess, disagreement about how it's handled, how domestic violence is handled among, I guess, the police, you could say. Police and the victim and the suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not sure how much you want to get into this, but I'm trying to think what could be done better. Because just to put it out there, yeah, growing up, yo, I feel like this is common, but, like, growing up, yeah, I saw, like, my mom and my stepdad, like, fight. I should put it out there. They don't do it anymore, but, like, I had to be that kid to be like, stop it. Like, it's too much. And, like, bringing it into our relationship where I bring up that rule where, like, yo, We're not gonna get physical with each other. We're not gonna throw things. We're not gonna like. And it's just like I can't do that because it's not right for us, and it's not right for when we have kids. So it's like putting that as a rule where that's a no. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I have okay.
You can continue.
Don't know if that was in the background. Anyways, I have personal experience with it as well. I'm not going to really disclose anything, but I'm very against it, and it's something that is very important to me. Whenever I have like given to charity or like on smile.amazon.com and like all this different stuff, I always give to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence because it's very important to me.
So I'm going to just put out this layout here and we'll start from there. So let's say in an instance of let's say something's happening in a house. You're going to have the mom, dad, and they have 2 or 3 kids, all ranging between different ages. And something happens, the mom and dad start fighting, and then like the kids get freaked out. One of them has a cell phone. They call the police. Police come. And like of course the kid explains what's happening to the dispatcher, so the police already know what's up.
Which is brave of the kids, because a lot of kids wouldn't do that because they'd be scared to lose their parents. Because kids don't know what can happen.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's cases where this does happen.
Yeah.
What? I'm trying to think. Okay, so what should be the next thing that should happen? So the police show up. Okay, go ahead.
So a little background here. Excuse me. There's a woman in our area that has been missing the past week, and it was recently confirmed that her body was found. So she didn't make it. Allegedly, it could be the boyfriend who did that to her. Of course, there's no specifics yet. They're still investigating and everything. But, one thing I was going to tell you is it's interesting because he went from a $500,000 bond to $1 million recently. So they were trying to ask in the in the report if that was because they thought it was him, but of course they couldn't like verify.
Yeah.
But so, and this has just been an interesting week just because it's so close to home and it's so real. So what ended up happening is this woman had called the police like the day before she went missing, and it was because he had strangled her and was very abusive. And what a lot of us are questioning, and this is kind of answering what you were saying, why was he not arrested then and there? If he was arrested, why was he let go? Like, why? So I have a friend on Facebook. I saw her status last night, and I had no idea that she had been in an abusive relationship. She put the date, it was in 2013. She had, at the time, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And she was explaining how she basically told her story. And, the cop had said, oh my gosh, I feel like, did I either save this or screenshot this? Because I thought it was powerful. Yes. The cop had said to her, it never gets better, it only gets worse. Don't let me end up back at your house. And she told the officer she had enough. She promised never to go back to him. He looked at me and looked at my kids and said, I've heard that before. She said, did you know that after you've been strangled, you are 10 times more likely to die from domestic abuse?
Yeah.
No, like if you made it out alive that time.
Well,
so
again,
but this is what I'm saying. if that had happened the night before. I'm very annoyed by it because it could have been completely different. None of this had to happen. If they had done the right thing and, you know, just, I don't know how all the legal system works. I don't know all that stuff, but I know that there had to be a way for her to get some help to get out, because I know that this friend of mine, she said that, like, she had a whole SWAT team with her to get her stuff and, like, to, like, and to get out. And I'm like...
But I think you're putting too much on the police for this. That's my next part. Because it's like,
if you're gonna put it on her, that's really gonna annoy me.
I'm not. I'm giving it a clear thing. Because again, they're gonna show up there. They're gonna take this guy in because they have to charge him. So they're gonna put him there, take his picture, like they're gonna bring him to jail and do all that stuff. So he's already gone. But the police, like always, because we have to call the police on our neighbors for being loud and stuff. Like, they come back, they say, hey, we did this and that, and like make sure everything's good. I'm pretty sure after they locked this guy in the car, they came back to her. It's like, I mean, is there anything else we can do? Like, are you right here and this and that? And it's
to
like,
which this has annoyed me, because you said, you're like, she could have said something then. Domestic violence is a very tricky thing. You don't know what was going through her mind. You don't know how safe she felt to say anything to him. You don't know also if it was a male police officer. She's probably lost all trust in men at this point. Like, there's a lot of factors going on.
Okay, but then does she not have family by? Like,
who knows? And here's another fact. Most times you're not going to tell anybody it's happening, especially your family or friends. That's the thing, because they'll threaten to hurt them, or like you'll just, you know,
so you're just
trying to survive.
But you're pretty much just giving this person, like, you're trying to put blame everywhere else except for on the person. Like, I get what you're saying, but if you're saying you're losing trust in the police or in men and all this stuff, and it's like someone's asking you, like, are you alright? Like, the police aren't going to sit there and force you to come with them if you don't feel safe, or force you to say, hey, we'll have officers looking out or something. Like, if you're not going to talk, like,
I think they should. Again, one, they need they need to know nonverbal cues, and two, if obviously you came to the house, you're arresting this man for domestic violence, and especially if it was strangulation, you don't need verification from the woman.
Yes, you do.
No. I'm like, this is what's annoying. You take it upon yourself to make sure this person is safe.
You can't.
Because they obviously cannot themselves. All they are trying to do is survive. And in this case, she didn't. Mm. And that's what ended up happening. Like, this is a very real thing.
Yeah.
And you cannot put that much pressure on the person who is suffering to stand up for themselves, because it is a very tricky situation where if they do, they can die.
You can't put it on the police like that also. It goes both ways. Like, if she said something or gave signs off and, like, it wasn't taken there, of course we don't know, then that's one thing, but we don't know how either party handled it. So it's like, it's
my next thing, because it said, so she went missing on Friday, and it said on Saturday, excuse me, said on Saturday that she called 911 twice. And my thing is, if you call 911, I was under the impression that if you are silent, they will still come to you because they can track where you are and they will show up. Because my thing is, if I call 911 and I'm silent, there's probably a good reason. Sure, sometimes kids play prank calls or whatever, but most times I'm pretty sure there's a good reason. Like, if I'm hiding in a closet or something and I cannot talk and I don't know about the whole texting 911 and all that stuff, I mean, twice they were called.
Cell phones are different.
Why?
Okay, so let me break down something for you. So I know with iPhones, I don't know much about Androids, but on iPhones, specifically, they have an E911 number that you put in your home address or an address that you're going to frequently be, because they can't trace your number like that. Like, you have to be on the phone for a good while for them to be able to trace it, because they have to ping the tower, and then they'll have probably a general area, but it's tough.
Great.
Like, versus a landline where it's like, yo, I know this person is. Like,
well, that sucks.
I don't know what.
They should change that then, honestly.
And it's like, so there's so many cases.
They should, honestly, cell phone providers should try and change that then.
How are you going to change it?
I don't know. I'm just saying. They should make it so you can, like, immediately see where this person is.
Things may get better with 5G because the towers are going to be a lot more closer than a tower that's however many miles away from you. So it's like, yeah, things may get better with that. But, like, currently, that's hard to do without you telling them, like, hey, this is where I'm at.
Well, that's terrifying. Because it's like, that's what's so upsetting is she tried. And
it's like, I've seen, like, people comment on, like when they heard that news about her calling twice and all that stuff, and, like, someone was saying how, like, their phone, like, called the police, like, 7 times and stuff, like, by accident, and, like, someone called them back, of course, and said, like, hey, if you need us, like, give us a call. But it's so limiting. Like, my phone, what do you call it? My watch will go off if I fall down or if I throw it down somewhere, because it just triggers it, because it has that, like, thing where it's like a fall detection, and it'll count down.
Yeah, my friend was at Six Flags recently, and he was on a roller coaster, and I guess his whatever was happening on the roller coaster, it hit the side button 5 times, and it called 911.
Yeah, so it's like they get these
like,
also
oops.
fake calls.
I know,
and it's like
you can never be too careful because you never know when it's real.
It's just a tough situation.
I know it is, but that's what it just. I feel like there's things that could be done better, and just
there are.
That's
but
the problem, and you know, people say, well, there's shelters and there's this and that. You just don't know until you're in it how hard it is to get out, because again, this person is they're mentally manipulative. They are physically abusive, emotionally abusive. They will threaten everybody you care about, your own life, like everything. So you are just trapped. Like, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You're not going to leave if they say that they're going to kill you if you leave. Or sometimes they threaten killing themselves. And, like, that's a whole other thing. Like,
I don't know.
I just think more needs to be done.
I don't know.
For the safety of them.
It also makes you think, like, damn, like, I hope if my sisters ever go through this, like, I hope I get a call or something.
And it's terrifying because you never know. Because there's a lot of ways that they can hide bruising
never know,
and everything.
But
it's also not just women. So we're going to shut that assumption down.
That's great.
It's more often, but it's everybody. Everybody can suffer at the hands of someone else. So I don't like this topic.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get into these relationship advice topics. It kind of touches on this not like kind of what we're talking about, and it's scary. And again, like, yeah, if my sisters were going through this, like, man, I would like to know. It's wild that this person is married to this person. So here goes this topic. It says, my fiance told me he could easily kill me if he had to.
Oh, they're not married.
What'd I say? I said that they're going to be
married.
Oh, well, they're going to be married to this person. Oh. I am 25 and he is 27. This is just weighing on me. I've tried to let it go, but my mind keeps drifting back to it. I'm not sure what to think. Last night I was lying in bed with my fiance, and he very softly they're mistyping. They just started stroking my throat. Okay. And then he kind of grabbed my neck. He didn't choke me, but it was a little tight, and suddenly he told me, it would be really easy, for me to, this is definitely like a rated R warning here on the content. Because how would he even joke like this? He would really easily kill me if he had to. And I said, if you had to. And he just nodded and smiled at me a little and didn't say anything. And I was kind of stunned, and I didn't want to pry into it, but it has made me a little paranoid. I don't know if he's trying to threaten me or not. We had an argument earlier, and I told him I didn't want to marry him anymore, but I took it back right after I thought he forgave me, but maybe he was trying to scare me because of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting worked up over nothing. What should I do?
And that's how it starts. It always starts lesser, or it can start as a joke, or it can start as something that's like you can't believe. Like, that's the thing, is domestic violence doesn't start as like you just start beating someone. It's like these little things that, I don't know, it's like you prep someone. It's like you just,
again, I'm going to go back to
them.
Exactly. I'm going to go back to what I've said in like some past relationship things where we're no matter how old you are and how much people want to say you're an adult, because it makes no sense, we are all kids. We're going to sit there and test you and say, like, oh, is it acceptable? So if I keep, like, hitting you right here.
I was literally just thinking, like, oh, if I poke you.
And you keep telling me, like, yeah, you're not telling me stop it. It's like you letting me continue on with this behavior. I'm going to keep trying more. So after me hitting you, I'm going to do a real hit one day.
Right.
Like, it's just going to keep happening.
Right.
And it's like, this is what happens. And in this girl's case, I would never like do that, say those words, or like put my neck around your like. That creeps me out.
Yeah, that was stunning. Like that he just kind of said that. That's a shock.
And to know that you just had a fight with this person, saying that you don't want to marry them, and like,
like that one sounds like it could escalate pretty quickly.
I would.
It's hard because it's absolutely one that, yes, surface level, we look at it and we say you should leave, but
we don't know much about it. But I would say if my sister told me this, I'd say stay in it. Of course, be mindful and keep and see what he does. Because if it continues to progress, where he just randomly starts choking you or just does something that's like completely inappropriate, it's a wrap. Like, we gotta dead it. Like, I don't care. We're gonna play Minority Report, and before anything bad happens where you die or whatever, no, we're deading it.
That's a bad use of words, but okay.
We're deading that relationship. That's what's gonna get killed. Like,
I would not agree to stay in it personally, but I know it's easier said than done.
Well, that's why I'm like, I'll let that part slide.
No, I wouldn't agree with saying like, oh, let's see what happens. There's signs. And it's hard because when you're the one in it, you don't see them or you want to ignore them. What?
Man. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one because this person, like, they didn't give much else with it.
Like, who said that's not a normal thing to say?
Who would say that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'd be even like, I feel like I can't even say that jokingly.
It's not a joke.
Like, I can understand when someone's like, yo, I hate you and all that stuff. Like, like you say that jokingly or whatever. Like, like, I see when people are saying like, oh, I'll kill you. Like, and you know it's a joke. Because it's kind of like commonplace, and it's like it's saying in the context of a joke. But damn, you put your hand around my neck, and you're like, it'd be so easy to like. That's some sick stuff. I don't know. You say you would just cut it off there. I would be wary of this person, and next time they do something like suspect like that, I have to leave. And this next one I want to get into, I know this is touchy, so one last one. Work it out with me. Okay? Pound it. Not with your ring, though. Okay, cool. All right. So here goes the next one that says, my husband hit me with his belt. Oh, my God. What are we, kids? Okay. And then told me I was being ridiculous when I cried. The subject of these alone is just like... Do you even want to get into this? We can stop. I see you're not in the mood for it. I can see you're not in the zone. We can stop.
It's not about being in the zone. This stuff's heavy. This
we can
stuff
stop.
is just... It's sad.
We could
And
stop.
it's something that shouldn't be real.
Because I don't understand it, and it's maybe because I grew up seeing this as a kid, and it's just like, why? Like, I never understand the why you should fight with someone and get physical against to someone that you say that that you care about. Missy, chill.
She's so cute. She's looking out the window, smelling the fresh air.
But I don't see why it doesn't make sense to me. You say you care about this person, you love this person, but like, yeah, you go and...
Well, what I've been told is when people are taught as a child, so when someone is abused as a child, it can turn into domestic violence as an adult because they have been taught that is love.
Mm-hmm.
So the parent that you trust, that you love, that, you know, they abuse you, you correlate that to love. So it's not something, and I'm not trying to justify it, and I'm not trying to, I don't know the words, but it's something that because you correlate it to love, it's sometimes absent-mindedly you do it. Like, you're not intentional. Like, I don't know, it's tricky. Like, it could be both. It could be that you get off on it, or it could be that you relate this is how love is, so I'm gonna, this is me really loving the person. Like, it's a very messed up situation. It all goes back to, again, why mental health is so important.
And you know what I like?
But the hardest part is the people who do this oftentimes don't see a problem with it, which means that they don't go get the help for their mentality.
And you know what I like, as you say that? I love how, like, we have the luxury and, like, it's acceptable to, like, go see a therapist and to, like, work through this, where, like, back in, like, our parents' days and all that stuff, like, it wasn't...
Well, right, so you see it as also we're going through a generational thing where, like, if it was our parents that were abused as children, then they could have been abusive, and then we saw that, and then so it's like a very...
Like, I feel like it's
because our
common.
grandparents, no, that was not a thing.
What?
Like, going to therapy and, like...
Yeah.
Working on that stuff.
Yeah.
It was, everything was justifiable.
Yeah.
Whatever I hit you with or did, like, it was, that was parenting.
Yeah. Like, I feel like there was a time my mom was like, go outside and go get me a stick so she can hit me with it. Like, I'm gonna go out there to find something for you to hit me with. Like, I can laugh on it now, but it's a common thing. Mm-hmm. Like... Well, at least at the time. Again, I feel like things have, like, lessened where it's not happening as frequently with people. I don't know. At least that's what I feel. It's just...
What isn't?
Abusing your kids.
I mean, I don't know. Again, this is stuff that happens behind closed doors. So you don't know.
Of course. But I feel like...
And there's a lot of messed up kids in DCF.
We'll have to see as we grow older and we have friends and other people that we know that have kids. But I feel like I can, like, pull all my friends and ask, like, seriously, have you been, abused by your family, like, physically, emotionally, whatever? And I'm probably going to get a yes in a lot of these categories.
Yeah.
And I would hope that we take this and, like, say, yo, I'm not doing that to my kid. because like we understand the trauma and what we struggle with now being adults.
I'm a big fan of being the one who breaks the cycle, even though it makes you the black sheep of the family.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't have to hit that relationship advice one. Spid, real topic to close it out. That's all I got. I'm not sure if you have anything else to add to it. Again,
Nope.
Just like all the race stuff and the gender stuff and everything, I just want us to be equal. I just want us to love each other. That's it. Like, we're all here to live. Like, right, Missy? She's like, yeah, right. Now she's like, I'm gonna lick your hand. Yeah. Anything else before we wrap this one up?
Nope.
This
is like the heaviest topic ever that we've talked about.
Yeah. We're going to be touching on something, I mean, it should be a little less heavier, but Friday's episode is going to be about...
it's a lot less heavy.
It's dependent. It's debatable. Yeah, it's debatable. We're going to be talking about, like, I guess, like, the toxicity of YouTube, specifically more so of, like...
and social media in general.
Of, like, family dynamics and, like, how, like, families use their kids to, like, exploit them on social media and, yeah, all that stuff. That's pretty much all I got. If you're good, I'm good. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. If you guys have any thoughts on anything that we have talked about on this episode, send us an email, PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com. Link is in the description. Or send us a voice message through Anchor, whichever you prefer. I would just love to hear anyone's thoughts on anything that we talked about. Yeah. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you for sticking around if you made it this far. Yeah. Man. Good thing we got the window open. We get this with the bad stuff flow out.
This is why I said a trigger warning, though.
Yeah.
The whole last half of this episode has been about this. Dang.
So with that being said,
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
Shadell with Paige and the Simpsons. I am the... Oh, God, I'm messing up. I'm messing up.
You got this.
You
roll it back.
You can close it out if you want. It's been a while.
This is not the episode for me to get hyped and close out.
Okay. Here we go. All right, guys. I'm Shadell from Paige and the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren.
and now disturbed Lauren. And we will see you guys Friday with an episode that isn't gonna be.
It's not this bad, I promise.
Yeah, all that gloom and doom.
We're not gonna do this often.
But we had to talk about this one. With that being said, see you guys next Friday.
Bye.
Peace out.